And welcome to Conscious Awakening Series, your podcast to support your spiritual and your cosmic growth. I'm your host, Sheila Seppi, and today my guest is Scarlet Raven. Now, our subject is all about psychedelic plant medicines, but before we get into the interview for today, I want you to just sit back, close your eyes, take a deep cleansing breath in through the nose and out through the nose, just grounding your energy into the earth. And as you exhale, take another deep breath in, bringing in all the gratitude for this now moment. Dropping that gratitude into your heart and expanding it wide to receive the messages found within the interview today. So take one more deep breath in and hold it. Fully exhale. Open your eyes and step in to our session today. Hello everyone and welcome back. So I want to tell you just a little bit about Scarlet before I bring her up. Scarlet is known as a spiritual catalyst for evolution. She also has traveled the world for more than 20 years, studying with many different teachers from all walks of life. Her inner drive to enlightenment has shed light on many topics, helping others to heal themselves and to find harmony in their life. As an international bestseller, author, and founder of the White Fox Medicines, Scarlet now resides on an expansive horse ranch, guiding others through earth medicine, star-filled alchemical formulas, and teaching via her online school, Kunundera Eyes. Her way of moving through the world is a dance between the old shamanic Kunundera ways and the new light from the stars coming into the earth at this time. It sounds like a real starseed to me, huh? So if you seek to remember who you truly are, then Scarlet is here to help you at this time. And Scarlet, I want to welcome you and thank you so much for taking your time to be with us today. Hello, hello, hello.
Hi there. I'm excited to be here.
Well, I'm excited to have you here. You know, a lot of people are talking about the benefits of psychedelic medicines, and I was listening to some interviews the other day that were being presented by psychiatrists, and they were naming all of the medications that clients were currently taking, how these medications were and were not effective for everybody. But when they started talking about the psychedelic medicines, they have been taking these new courses that allow them to lead people through a journey space to kind of drop into the energy of the medicine. They were calling it the hero's journey, and taking them through various steps to help them on their healing path. And they found that after two such sessions, 2 months apart from each other, that many clients were depression free for up to a year. They were also talking about the benefits of microdosing, and I really, that noise is my puppy laying on the keyboard. So they also were talking about all the benefits of the microdosing, and I want to get into that today. But before we do, I was wondering if you could just tell people a little bit about yourself and how you came to be on this journey.
Yeah, I'd love to. Psychedelics is such a hot topic. I love talking about it. So my relationship to plants, I came from a lot of suffering in my childhood. That's what catalyzed me into traveling the world and finding all these different spiritual teachers. And throughout my spiritual journey, the veils got dropped and I was able to communicate with the earth and the stars and the moon and the plants. So my relationship to plant medicine is through a silent knowing. I can look at a plant and have an understanding as to what that plant is here for and what kind of medicine it would bring. So that's how I created all my formulas with White Fox. And about 10 plus years ago, I was living in Northern California. Cannabis was a really big topic back then. And I started to incorporate different THC and CBD elements into my formulas for deeper forms of healing. That brought about a lot more healing for a lot of people, like chronic pain. And so things like cannabis or psilocybin or ayahuasca, they're known to actually affect our brain patterns. So if we have a thought and that thought is repetitive, it'll create a deep groove like a river would in the land. And that deep groove is your thought pattern. And that's what creates anxiety and depression. People get stuck in these repetitive negative thoughts, and then their systems will say, that's what you want to experience, I will abide. And then your experience matches what you're thinking. So to include THC into an herbal remedy was to enlighten the brain and to give the brain more neural networks so that people had an option to then have different forms of thinking. And that's why it's a highly creative medicine, a medicine that can really increase the joy of sensuality. It has like a diamond, it has infinite facets to it, and topical applications, internal applications. I was using all my own medicine for a long time. And in that sector of where I was living, something started called fire season, where we would go through environmental fires that would burn through our towns 3 to 4 times a year. And I went into a really high state of stress and trauma because I had horses. So evacuating horses from fires that are 10, 20 minutes away from you with chickens and cats, it's different if you're just a single person and you jump in your car and you drive to a safe town. But if you got to stay in the fire zone and you got to evacuate your loved ones, it becomes a different type of for me, it became a different type of a trauma. And what I noticed was the remedies, the herbal and the THC remedies weren't going to the depth of my trauma, and they weren't holding me. And that's when I started going into microdosing and psilocybin. And because I am a formulator and I have all this awareness around different adaptogenic herbs and fungi, I was able to create formulas that would enhance the psilocybin in microdose form to where I could take a capsule and 15 to 20 minutes later, my anxiety is gone. So I was able to create felt effects very quickly, but it wasn't just about having the initial symptoms disappear. It was about having my brain change so that I didn't then become a traumatized person that then repeated the trauma for 10, 15, 20 years. I know a lot of people that don't have access to these types of tools, and they think that suffering is normal, and they think that having a hard life is normal. So when something like this happens to them, they're in it, and that's what they deal with. And then they go and they get SSRIs, and they go and they're like, wow, nothing's really helping me. And so a lot of the people that I serve have these types of stories of, yeah, I did have a trauma, but no, I didn't have access to the type of remedies that I personally was making for them. So I used it on myself for a year before I shared it with anyone. And the effects were so incredibly profound that my friends were like, what are you taking? Can you share it? And I'm very into, it's not just about the medicine, but it's what's the medicine, the container the medicine is in, what does the packaging look like? All of that is a prayer for healing. So I made it, I serve everything in violet mirror on glass, which only allows violet rays of light to go into the medicine, which means when your medicine is sitting on the counter, like Saint Germain comes in and gives you a violet flame cleansing, which enhances all the positive ions in your system. The same thing is happening to the medicine I make. So bioavailability will increase rather than decrease while your medicine is sitting in the jar. So,
and that's really important because a lot of people haven't thought that process through. And not only have you thought the process through, but you're also adding that extra element of sacred energy to it.
Yeah, it's very important. I'm the type of person that I can eat a bowl of granola, and I buy the granola from the store, and I can feel the emotions of the person that was making the granola. So it was extremely important that the medicine was made only on the full moon, and it was only made in a state of prayer. And so those were the other sacred elements that I add. And then it's packaged. And once I started sharing it with my friends, and it was across the board, everyone was having a similar experience to mine. Their brain was expanding. They had easier access to more positive thoughts. Their heart felt more open. They were able to connect to the natural surroundings in a way that they hadn't been. Yet they didn't feel like they weren't sober. Or wait, they felt sober. They didn't
Right.
feel like they were altered. So you can drive your car, you can take care of your children, you can a lot of women use it for their postpartum depression. And instead of going through these intense synthetic drugs that are typically given to women after birth for postpartum, they had this natural medicine inside of them that was also helping their baby. So it was such an incredibly profound experience. And now, 7, 8 years deep into serving it, I have different options for people. I do have the hero dose in a chocolate bar form. It's not quite the hero dose because I'm not able to be present with people. I mean, the hero dose, they say, is like 8 to 9 grams.
Right.
Mine are 1 gram, but that being said, I add herbs and different things that actually increase the potency. So it probably feels more like 2 grams to people. I don't want to be serving things unless I can be present. If you're taking more than 1 gram, I really believe you need to have a shaman or a light guide or someone to hold this space for you, because you're going to go deep.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Well, let me ask. Now, you mentioned about mothers. Is this safe for mothers who are nursing their babies to be taking while they're nursing?
So to me, that's a question specifically for the mom and the baby. And the way that I look at this is I have been inside of many, many, many different cultures where ayahuasca is taken in a microdose form with pregnant mothers as well as nursing mothers. Things
Mm-hmm.
like iboga are also received in microdose format. Psilocybin, and this is in South America, all over the world. It's only America that looks at these natural remedies like it could harm a baby or harm a mother. That being said, I think it's the baby's decision. So if I were a mom and I was breastfeeding or I was with child, I would be asking myself, my body and my spirit, as well as the baby's body and the baby's spirit, if this is what's best for us at this time. And when the systems respond with a yes, I would take it. If they said no, I would say it's not for right now. I think that we are all walking in such different shoes that there isn't really going to be a blanket answer. But I think developing that internal communication is extremely important. And if I had a baby and I was breastfeeding and I got the yes, I would be taking a microdose of psilocybin while pregnant or while breastfeeding. And I have a lot of girlfriends, 3 to 4, that I've done ayahuasca with while they were pregnant, and they're not taking a full dose. They're taking a microscopic dose, and they have the most enlightened children I have ever come across. So from my own personal experience of what I've seen, it is safe. That being said, it may not be for everyone at that specific time.
Okay, okay. And, for me, I know here in Colorado, laws are changing to support this type of medicine for people to have access to. But Colorado seems to be a little bit more progressive than some other states. But that having been said, lawmakers would not be passing these laws if they found it harmful. I
Mhm.
think that there's been a lot of stigma attached to psychedelics, a lot of stigma attached to the ayahuascas, a lot of stigma attached to a drug culture, when in fact these are serving as medicines and
Mhm.
actually beneficial to people if they're used properly. Okay. And so, that having been said, I'm really grateful that you came on to share this information with people so that they begin to ask themselves if this is something that's right for them.
Yeah.
So, a couple more questions that I have. First, I definitely want to talk about your books because I just ordered some of your face products and I want to talk about all of those as well. But you're also an author, and I haven't had time to read the book, but I was flipping through it and I saw gateways, and it looked like that there are like little meditations and things in there, which really excited me. So I can't wait to have the time to read that and to go through it. So first, can you tell us about the books that you have and a little bit about the books? Then can you tell us about the other products that you have and where people can find you?
Yes. So the book writing has been a really fun journey. The first book I wrote became an international bestseller, and it really jazzed me up to write more books. So that one is called Follow the Medicine: Awakening Self-Empowerment. And I was dating a guy who wanted to earn a lot of money, and he took me to a Bob Proctor seminar in LA. And I knew nothing about mind training at that point. I was dealing with trauma and healing emotions still. And when he was saying, your conscious mind is really running off your subconscious mind, and that's what's creating your reality. And you can intentionally program the subconscious to then have your reality change. And then he walked us over the weekend. He walked us through how to do that. His was money focused. I really took it as spiritual empowerment focused, like, oh my God, like forget the money. But if I could create internal peace for forever, I'm more interested in that. So that's what Follow the Medicine was, because after studying with so many teachers, you would think that I would have heard about this, 20 years into my spiritual journey. Someone would have mentioned I could train my mind, I could train my thoughts, that would control my emotional experience, that would change and evolve my emotional experiences. No one mentioned it. It was like Zen teachers just sit and breathe, and whirling dervishes, and, spinning in circles. I did everything. And I was like, how did no one freaking mention this to me? So it was such a huge moment where I wanted to grab a megaphone and just say, you guys, like, you don't have to feel shitty. You can control your thoughts. You can control your reality. And so I was really passionate about writing that book. And there's a woman actually who has a master's in hypnotherapy who's a part of my Curandera Eyes online school. And she was like, I cannot believe you don't have any higher education and you wrote this book. And I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars on a master's degree to learn what you wrote in this small book. And what you wrote is more simple and easier to understand than anything I ever, so it's a fun book. It gives you tools that, I meet people every day that think that the world's happening to them. Yes. And it's not. You are creating your reality. But if you don't know you are, and you don't have the tools to shift your reality, you feel a victim to it. But once you flip that switch and you start controlling and shaping your own thought processes, you're a master of your own domain, and it's incredibly empowering. So, yeah.
So I know that you have the school. I do want to hear about your other book. Can you tell us just a little bit about the school and what people might expect to find in the courses?
Yeah, the school is more powerful than I could have ever imagined. I just got, my world is so spiritual based. So I had a group of souls come to me when I was sleeping, and they said, when you wake up, we'd like you to build this online school. We'd like you to show the world how you walk through the world. And me being me, I thought, no one's going to want to know how why would people pay to want to know, And they said, you're not going to it's not going to be any mental thoughts. All we want you to do is sit in front of a camera, make 10 to 15 minute videos. We will speak through you. Our energy will move into the course, create the container. It doesn't even matter what you say. The people that take the course will receive so all of this felt really far out there. But now that I've had the people that are coming into the course are just potent medicine people, number one. And then number two, I just had my first graduate yesterday. We had a ceremony for him. He's from Finland. So my students are Australia, Finland, Mexico. That's what I mean. The people that are coming in, I'm like, this is not my doing. This is right. Some form of a medicine tribe that's being formed through this portal that I offered. And it is extremely enlightening and easy, meaning you show up, you turn your computer on, you have a 10 to 15 minute video of me either sharing a teaching or giving an initiation or offering a meditation or something. It's always going to be different. And then you go through the course at your own pace. That being said, if you join the course, I send you a bottle of our curandera holy anointing oil. I send a copy of the Follow the Medicine book and the psilocybin transmissions book. So we do practice using holy oil and how you anoint and how you can raise vibrational essences with the oil. And basically the course is focused on how you can end your own suffering, how you can start utilizing the power of the Great Spirit inside of you to miraculously transform your existence. And the course is doing that for people. Taro, who's the guy from Finland who just graduated, he started the course with a lot of mental activity of, I want to experience this. I really want to obtain this spiritual level. And by the end of the course, he just is at this place of, I don't care, I'm there. Like all of a sudden, I don't care about anything anymore. I'm just happy to show up and observe and love.
Mm-hmm.
And when you get to that state of vibrational resonance where you're just happy to observe and love, it is the most freeing, joyful. So it's working. I'm a human still, so I had self-consciousness around it and I didn't know. I had taken online courses I didn't really like because it feels like someone builds it and then you're on your own. So what I did was I have a monthly Zoom where we meet every month and I keep people motivated and I keep people connected to me and I give them an opportunity to ask questions or talk to me. The course, when you purchase the course, it also comes with a one-on-one with me. So there is human interaction. It's not just you and a computer. And then you do get to join a medicine community, and that's for life. That's not, once you graduate, you still have access.
Yeah. And that is so important because many people are looking for, a community that resonates with them.
Mm-hmm.
One of the other things that I think is important as more and more star seeds are coming onto the planet, my belief about that is star seeds, walk-ins, indigos, whether it's whomever that's coming in, that's awakened, they're here for a reason. They're here to help hold that space to move us into these higher vibrations so that we can begin to break down all this old false matrixing that our subconscious has been programmed through reincarnation phases, through the genetic history that we carry within our DNA and our genetic base. So really having an opportunity to switch something inside the brain. Also, I was reading that with the psilocybin, that it also begins to create those new neural pathways, and there's the expansion process. So like you were saying, those ruts begin to dissipate because now when you have those trigger responses, you don't have to always do A, B, or C. There's D, E, F, G, H. And these open up new windows for healing. And right now at this time on the planet, I think everybody's looking for that. Everybody's looking for something to help them to be able to grow, to expand, and even to heal physically, mentally, emotionally, physically even. And so I know when the body is, and the mind, when that body mind is at rest, then it has more power, more energy that it can bring into the healing. So can you tell us now a little bit more about, or tell us about your book, the psilocybin transmissions?
Yeah, that was really well said, by the way. That's exactly what it does. It increases your bandwidth so that you can make conscious decisions rather than just react. So that was really well said. So the psilocybin transmissions book is a channeled book from the spirit of psilocybin. But the spirit of psilocybin came to me as a group of souls. For ease of conversation, I call it the spirit of psilocybin. And I basically ate a heroic dose on my own, and I laid in the sun on my deck. I was seeking business advice because I had taken my company into the legal cannabis industry. And all of a sudden I felt more a part of the matrix that I had ever felt as a medicine woman. And I was being removed from my client base, and it felt like I was going in the wrong direction. So I was seeking I was seeking guidance. And I took the medicine, and the medicine, basically the spirits came to me and they said, so actually this is a huge trip, but they said, we want you to trademark the word psilocybin. And I'm obviously in an altered state, but I was like, well, that's never going to happen. Like, I have a trademark attorney and I know about this earth world. I was like, that is never going to happen. They said, that's what we want you to do. And then we want you to channel this book, and we want you to explain to people why psilocybin is here on this planet. And the reason why they wanted me to trademark the word psilocybin was to create a product that then could be sold in King Soopers or Whole Foods or natural grocers. It would be a box of chocolates that you would take home. It wouldn't have psilocybin in it, but because the word was trademarked, it could be used as a brand name, not an ingredient. And then the box of chocolates would be called psilocybin. It would call attention to the medicine publicly in mainstream consumer avenues. And then when you took the box of chocolates home, you would open it up and there'd be a book as to how to add your own psilocybin to the chocolate to create your own medicine journeys. So it would circumnavigate the laws, and I would go into any state and I would be able to start this discussion. So the next day, I sent an email out to my trademark attorney, and he said the same thing. That's never going to happen. And I said, and he's a cool dude. So I told him, I said, look, this was a vision. This isn't coming from me. I honestly don't want to do it, but I have to follow through on visions. It's just part of my soul agreement. And I sent him a check for $1,000, and I said, let's just see if it happens. 6 months later, we got the trademark and we made history. I mean, the news came to my house and it became this huge publicity thing that I just wasn't ready for. But what happened with the book was it's 10 chapters that are very simply stated that kind of bring people into a state of love. Because the only reason why psilocybin is here is so that we can come back to who we truly are, which is love, and how to love everybody in every situation, and how to soften yourself into a state of compassion, how to jump into other people's sandals and look at the world from their eyes so that you can remain close to people you don't agree with. And, it's a unifying medicine of love, and that's it. It's really simple.
It has the unity consciousness that everyone talks about, with is actually a fifth dimensional frequency. So it sounds like you're bringing in that fifth dimension and anchoring it on the planet, which is what so many spiritual teachers and leaders and thought leaders are trying to do today, is anchor those higher concepts onto the planet. But the cool thing about the way you're doing it is you're anchoring the higher concepts on what's already here, what's misunderstood by people. And so if people want to before we do that, tell us more about the other products that you have. Tell us about your face care line. I got excited. I was like, ooh, I'm going to try that. I like eternal youth.
Yeah, I mean, that medicine came through. That was such a beautiful channeling evening. Everything that I make with White Box is channeled formula. And there will be a vibrational call of the collective consciousness of, there's a lot of nervous system. There's a lot of people in PTSD, fight or flight or freeze, and not a lot of people in a regulated nervous system. So that's how tranquility came through, my tranquility tincture. And it's the herbs that help regulate that nervous system to go back so that you're not in fight, or freeze, so that your bandwidth expands and you feel comfortable being in your body. And, when I brought that formula to be, and people start taking it, and it's 15 to 20 minutes, the intentions behind it are so strong, compiled with the physical essence of the product, that you feel it. You take this medicine and 15 to 20 minutes later, your anxiety is down by half. And when you take it over time, my medicine, I tell people, I really don't want you taking this after 6 months. If you are, you're not doing the work alongside it. You're not meant to be buying my stuff and then leaning on it. It's truly is a cure. Once you get into that regulated nervous system, you then do your own work to regulate yourself after that. And we're humans, and we're always going to need help. I go back to my medicine. time and time again, but I'm not on it all the time. It's just something as an assistant. So I like to tell people that, if you're leaning on this, please buy my book, Follow the Medicine, or let me send you the book. Please train your mind and please do some of this work on your own, because that's why your soul is here. That's when you get the expansion. That's the whole purpose, is you do the work yourself and then you get the expansion and then you glow,
Yeah.
you know?
Right.
But
Absolutely.
some people are so traumatized they can't get to that place. So that's where the herbs come in, or the psilocybin comes in, and it says, look, this earth is a rough place. We know it. It's dense as all heck. I'm just going to hold you in the light while you get your shit together.
Yeah.
And then once you're standing on your feet, here's more tools to expand your light. You do the work. When you're walking and you're doing your own work, that's when you're going to feel the best.
Right. Right.
So, a friend of mine had nose cancer bad, and he was in this state of panic that it would come back all the time. And I was like, this is such a no-brainer. I can make you a medicine that you can put on your face every day and it'll never come back. I mean, there's answers in herb form to this that are screaming your name. And he's like, okay. And it was Christmas. And I said, for Christmas, I'm going to make you this formula. So it wasn't meant to be a public product. It was meant to be a huge jar of medicine for him to last a year. And I try everything before I ever give it to anybody. So I made it, and it was a full moon and it had just brewed. It hadn't even solidified yet, but I put the wet brew all over my face and I went to sleep, and I woke up and my cheeks were like rosy and my face was glowing. And I was like, oh my God, this is a dual purpose medicine. This is an eternity. This is an eternity prayer medicine. And I started looking at it and I said, well, of course it is. I mean, that's the same thing as when you're curing cancer. You're asking every single cell to only hold light, to not hold dense toxins. That's where the cancer is coming from. It's when the cell can't go into its original state of creation, or something stopping it. So the medicine asks every cell of your face to always be in a state of evolution, not a stagnant response.
Yeah.
And that's what the alum cure is. He had a Scottish blood. So alum is a Scottish word for eternity. And that's how it got its name. And there's the essence of peyote in there. So peyote medicine, when you take her, I call her, some people call it a more of a male form, but to me, she's always gentle. And she always explains to me about the eternity of my soul. And so when I mean essence, is like I took the tiniest part of a peyote button and I dried it, and then I turned it into a powder, and then I prayed over it, and then I released that prayer into the medicine. So it truly is an essence kiss. And that prayer of eternity is in that face cream.
Mm. Awesome.
Yeah.
Well, I just started using it. Do I glow?
You really are
So,
glowing. Yeah.
so I'm excited. I'm excited to see where this goes.
Yeah.
Okay, and so if people want to visit your website and to check out all the cool things that you offer, where can they find you?
So White Fox Nectars, that's the company website name that has all the herbal formulas and the CBD stuff. I also have some products for horses because I'm on a horse ranch. White Fox Medicinals will also take you to that same website. And then the psilocybin stuff, my website, which people don't know, I'm going to be outing myself for the first time. Psilocybin Love Medicine is my website. It's not going to show you any of the products I make on there. I don't publicize that stuff with pictures. But if people contact me directly and we share a conversation and it feels like a right fit for both people, then I share the medicine, the psilocybin medicine with people. So that's not something you can just go online and buy. We're going to have to chat a little bit and make sure it's a good fit and make sure you have supports and that kind of a thing.
Right, right.
So
And that's such an important process to really connect with someone, to find out what they really need. And sometimes a conversation can help them to identify that for themselves, because I'm surprised at the number of people that really don't know what they need or what they want. And so this is, this is a beautiful offering that you're bringing through for humanity. And I honor you for your work. And that's one of the reasons when I found out about you, it's like, okay, let's get this out to people, because I work with clients every day that have taken every medicine known to mankind and they're still suffering depression. They're still suffering anxiety. And, I do what I can with them. But anytime that I find something that could be a possible alternative, then, I want to be able to say, hey, you might want to talk to somebody. I send them down the street to a chiropractor or a massage therapist or an herbalist. And this is just another offering that people can really begin to investigate for themselves to see if it is in fact right for them. The other thing that I like about what you're saying is with these microdoses. Now, how much psilocybin is actually in the microdoses? Because you said earlier people can drive, they're cognitively aware, and it really does not affect them or give them a high of any type.
Yeah, that's true. It's 0.10 of a gram. So it's a tenth of a gram in each capsule. And then there's a slew of other fungi like turkey tail and reishi and lion's mane. There's cacao powder, there's cayenne pepper so that it pumps into your blood. There's vanilla bean powder, which is a natural antidepressant. And then there's other things like echinopurines, which is an adaptogen. And it's not, a lot of people are focusing on the psilocybin. For me, it's the entourage, it's the team that's inside the capsule that's creating the effect. And what I tell people is take it in the morning on an empty stomach while you're sipping your morning tea and set your intention. And the generalized response, some people need 2 capsules. If they've been on SSRIs and they've been playing with synthetic medications in the Western medical field for years without results, those SSRIs do something to the serotonin levels where it gets dense.
Yes.
And I'm just noticing this after 10 years of service, that the SSRI clientele may need 2 love drops. That's the name of the microdose. They may need 2 capsules in the morning as opposed to 1 for the first month or 2. And then they can go to 1 capsule. Something will get harmonized in the serotonin where 1 capsule will be suitable. But initially they need more assistance, because I think what I'm sensing is that SSRIs dumb down your body's natural ability to come into a happy state. They just numb you out. They disconnect you from all the power inside. So it might take the psilocybin a month or 2 to get you back on your own track. And then you can go down to 1 capsule in the morning. But people feel more sober. They feel more focused. They feel more creative. They're more aware. Like, you think if you wake up and you're foggy in the morning and you're drinking your coffee to get energy and you're driving, how aware are you really?
Right.
If you're taking a medicine that's actually going to connect you deeper to your surroundings and make you feel more creative and make your heart more open, people are way more in their body and they're way more focused on this medicine. So I know that's kind of sounds like 2 things happening at once. I'm taking something that's supposed to make me trip out, but I'm more sober. But in these microdose forms, that is what occurs.
Right. And I thought it was really important for people to know we are talking about a minuscule amount. But it sounds to me like, because of the prayer, because of all the sacred work that's going into it, there's really this amplification process that's occurring within all the systems of the body. And for people who are suffering depression, chronic depression, people who have anxiety, people who are going through a multitude of traumas, whatever that might be, this possibly could be something that would be worth investigating for them.
Yeah, I would say so. I mean, I got a team of people, naturopathic doctors, medical doctors, shamans, that are speaking like you. They send me people. They say, I've been trying to help this person. I don't have access to what you make. Can you help them? And I mean, praise God, so far it's helped everyone. The responses that I'm getting, and I don't think it's me. I really think that there's a team of light beings that
Yes.
go with each capsule. And if someone is taking that with an open heart and they want to get well, they're going to get well.
Yeah. Yeah. And when you have a team of light beings that are working with you, there's absolutely nothing that you can't accomplish. I know that, for me, they came and woke me up and wanted me to start the Conscious Awakening Network. It's gone through, several evolutions. We continue to grow, we continue to expand, but it's effortless. All of
Mhm.
the doors open, the right people walk in, everyone shows up, and there's this synergistic harmony with the messages of dropping into your heart, expanding your awareness, connecting with the land, really reaching out to your own spirit teams. And more people are joining us every day. And so, the power of working with your guides, your light teams, your workers, your whomever you want to call it, you know. And I always say from the other side, but really it's not from the other side. They're right here with us. We just
Yeah,
vibrate at a lower frequency than they do. So they're
exactly.
right here. They're supporting, even this video and the production because, once I found out about what you were doing, it was like, you got to interview her. You've got to interview her. You've got to interview her. And I'm like, I don't know. Let's see. We're going to talk. And it's like they just kept saying, kept saying. And when you are getting the beck and call from
Mhm.
world of spirit and you follow it, magical things happen. So I want to honor you for following your call. I want to thank you for the work that you're doing on behalf of humanity, Mother Earth, on the animal kingdom. You've got your horse ranch, you provide products for horses. And so, the work that you're doing is very, very important. And on top of it, you're an awakened starseed. So, hey, another boots on the ground, bringing the message. So I really want to thank you for that work. And I also want to ask you, is there anything that you want to share that I did not hit upon today?
Um, I would like to say that there's so much love and power inside of every human being. I can get weepy kind of looking at people I don't know. I can look at someone that I've never met in a grocery line and have tears form because I can see their light and beauty inside of them. And I'm not rare. Everyone is like me. I've just dropped some veils for myself. So I want that to echo out as just a remembrance call of, we are all, number one, we're all the same collective, unified ocean of light. So anything we think or say or do, we're thinking or saying or doing to ourselves. And just remember to go as slow as humanly possible through this world, and you will be rewarded.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much again. So, people, check her out, Scarlet Raven. Check out her website, scarletraven.com. Women, get those facial products. Read the books, sit in the sun, have a little fun. And so, I want to thank you so much for being our guest today. I also want to thank the Conscious Awakening Network for sharing these kinds of programs and getting this information out because those people who are called to the vibration of each and every show will be the ones that find each and every show. So thank you to the Conscious Awakening Network. Thank you, Scarlet, for being here. Much love to everyone. Thank you for joining us. I know you have lots of choices for the time that you spend on this earth. So thank you for choosing to spend some of that with us. So until we're back together again, much love to everyone and namaste. See you next
Namaste.
time, everybody.